Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, it was reported yesterday, and we talked a little bit about this, that, it was news out there percolating that Errol Spence was going to get the opportunity to face Sebastian Fundora in January. And now Sampson Lewkowicz is saying not so fast. He did speak to BoxingScene.com. And, Jay, I want to read what he had to say. This is what Lewkowicz said. It looks good. It looks like Crawford's only going to fight Canelo. Lewkowicz told BoxingScene.com, if Canelo gets the $100 million fight for Crawford, he will take it and knock the shit out of Crawford. He's not stupid. It's an easy fight, and that's it. The end of Crawford's career. If Canelo doesn't take the Crawford fight, we're ready to fight Crawford. All of our efforts are on Crawford. We have nothing else in mind. We want to fight Crawford. Sebastian believes that he will beat Crawford, and when he does, he will be a superstar. Sebastian has the balls and is a dangerous fight for anybody. Wow. So, Jay, we know that the deadline, if I'm not mistaken, for Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora to make a fight is tomorrow, the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, correct? And so I don't know exactly what the ramifications are if they don't meet that date, but I know that they've been, the game plan has been to put pressure on Terence Crawford to accept the fight. Accept the fight, or we're going to move on. But what you're not going to do is hold up our career. And it's a perfect statement, right? They should be allowed to do that, and I have no issue with that. Crawford, we know, is very interested in fighting Canelo Alvarez, and he's probably waiting to get the word from him. If it were me and I'm Terence Crawford, why not just take the Sebastian Fundora fight as an interim? Even if you don't know that, even if, let's say, Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez doesn't give you the fight. You take this fight, you get paid, you move on. If he does give you a fight, this is a good interim fight, right? I mean, do you really want to get back into the ring like in May? You're going to be close to 30. How old Crawford is, right? 37?
He's 37. They're talking like the fight might be in February for some reason with Canelo, but we know Canelo doesn't fight like that.
Yeah, Canelo ain't fighting in February. So it'll be in May. And, my thing is just go ahead and fight Sebastian Fundora. It's a great fight. A lot of fight fans will be willing to see it. I think most of us would pick him as the favorite going into the fight just based off of what we saw in the initial stages of the Tim Tszyu fight. So take the fight, go in there, become a unified champion at 154 and move up and face Canelo Alvarez in the event that you're going to get the fight. And if you don't, you just made another payday off of Turkey Al-Sheikh and you could move on. To me, I would go ahead and make the move if I was Terence Crawford, but who knows? Maybe he just want to ride off into the sunset and just, or it goes directly to a Canelo Alvarez fight, whichever one that may be. But I don't know. To me, it would make sense to have a fight in between and make sure that you're good going into the ring with somebody like Canelo Alvarez. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Bud, I'm going to go ahead and get this fight here. This fight does one thing for me. I get 2 belts if I win this fight. So I have 3. I have 3 out of the 4 to be undisputed at 154. And then after this fight here, then I can try to really push for either the Canelo fight in May or to get that last belt to be undisputed in another weight class. So I don't understand what's the delay here, because trying to play around with Canelo, you know how Canelo moves. Canelo's going to move at his own pace. He's not going to let anyone push him or pressure him. So get the bag here. If you're about getting the money now and you say legacy, this is your chance. You get two belts for one fight right now with Fundora in December. Go ahead and take that, and you get a bag for it. I don't see the problem. I don't see what's the holdup. I understand him being supposedly all hell bent on Canelo. So if that's the case, let Fundora do what he want to do. It's not fair that you're doing this double dealing stuff. That's not cool. That's what I don't like about it, that you're holding Fundora up from doing what he wanted to do because you're trying to figure out which path you're going to take. That's not cool. To your point, I favor Crawford in the fight against Fundora as well. We saw what was going on with the Tim Tszyu fight with Fundora until that nasty cut happened. That changed the whole complexity, the end of the fight. Changed everything on that fight there. Because that happened I believe in round 4 or something. Mm-hmm. So Tim was basically blind from that round all the way on. He still fought a tough fight. So just go ahead and take this Fundora fight, get that out the way, and then you have an option. You have an option to do your undisputed, or hopefully you can try to hope that Canelo picks you. I don't think he will, because I see some other people that he's gonna pick, just the way Canelo moves and everything. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see the division go ahead and move. We saw the division at 147 was kind of stuck with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Crawford has a lot of options as far as I'm concerned at 154 pounds, and I think he should start to move towards. Yeah, and if you truly want to fight Sebastian Fundora, then go ahead and get it. But the whole I only want Canelo, and well then okay, if you only want Canelo, then that's fine. Allow Sebastian Fundora to move on. And I'm just gonna throw this out there, Jay. I know a lot of people they're gonna try to call this hate, but what if Terence Crawford realized that when he got into the ring with Israel Madrimov, that these guys at the heavier weight class are going to be a lot more dangerous than what he initially figured, and now it's more dangerous to continue to fight at 154 before you get an opportunity to get that massive payday with Canelo Alvarez. You see what I'm saying? One shot could change the whole complexity and the dynamics that are currently going on in his career, right? So he's looking at it like, hey man, I may want to go directly to Canelo Alvarez. I don't want to risk it with one of these big punching guys at 154 pounds that are going to come into the ring naturally bigger than me, and instead I want to get directly to Canelo Alvarez, because win, lose, or draw, I win in a fight like that, right? So he could be thinking like it. He could be thinking about things in that manner.
That makes sense. I mean, to avoid risking losing the major payday that he wants, because like to your point, he showed he showed some flaws in slowing down against Madrimov. I know everyone said, well, Madrimov did it. I'm like, Madrimov had 11 fights. Missed me with all the amateur and all that stuff there, because y'all negated that with Ugas and Bud. So negate it now with Madrimov. So, I mean, but Bud should just definitely, I mean, he's a competitor. He's 37, yeah, but he's a competitor. Feel like he's the best in the world, especially at 154 now. Go ahead and get Fundora, but I understand you don't want to take a risk and miss the major payday. That makes sense as well. I can see that as a way like, nah, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what he ends up doing. We'll see what ends up materializing. We only got, a day, a little over 24 hours before we have to find out what's exactly going to go on with Sebastian Fundora and Terence Crawford. If I'm Sebastian Fundora and his team, I don't want any extended time. There is no reason for an extension. I have already waited long enough. At the end of the day, if he wants to fight, let's go ahead and make the fight. But what I'm not going to do is hold up and wait. If you want to now, if you want to keep him in that position and I have the option to go and make another fight, then that's perfectly fine. I'm willing to do that. But what I'm not going to do is sit around and wait for this guy to make a decision, because there's things that I need to do in terms of my career as well. That's how I'm viewing it if I'm Sebastian Fundora. So you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Tomorrow is the deadline. We'll see if Terence Crawford ends up taking that fight. I would love if he take the fight. I think it's a good fight for Terence Crawford. I think it's a fight that he can win. I think it's a fight that he would win. And so take it, use it as a springboard to Canelo Alvarez, and, it is what it is. And if you don't get that fight, you just had one more fight and you became a unified champion at another division, one more notch in the proverbial belt, and you go out as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.